Thanks for showing up, everyone. That lazy lot. So I'm here. So just to explain to Kashmir, who's not been in this class before. So normally for a 6-week block, I have a theme, and this theme is heart opening back bends. So we did dancer pose, we did today's Camel, Ustrasana. We did bow pose, so taking hold of our feet, arching back. So these are poses where your arms go behind you rather than the back bends where you've got arms go overhead, like Ustrasana wheel pose, so upward facing wheel. So we're getting towards that because that's one of the tricky ones. So firstly, our pranayama, breath work. So sitting nice and tall, closing your eyes. Just feeling that sensation of your head sitting right on top of your shoulders, not tilting forward. It's almost like drawing the palate back slightly, so through the back of the head, so nice and centered. And then inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. And then a few breaths to ground ourselves, just bring yourself into this moment. Bringing thoughts out of your head into your body. So feeling that sensation of the breath filling you up. And then each exhale, the releasing of those toxins out of the body. Squeezing the last little drop of air out. And then our pranayama today is to practice our Ujjayi breath, so a victorious breath, breath of sound. So that sensation of puffing steam onto a mirror in front of you if your mouth is open, but having the mouth closed and feeling that restriction across the back of the throat. Not forcing the breath, but that little gentle restriction so you feel friction almost warming the breath up. And then keeping the Ujjayi breath, going to inhale for 5 and exhale for 7. Then at the bottom of the next exhalation, lowering your head and opening your eyes and looking forward. And then we're going to inhale, bring our arms up, draw the navel in, lift the pelvic floor, and then exhale, twisting to the left, drawing that right hand onto the thigh. And then again, inhaling back up
exhaling, changing. So that little bit of passive stretch as you draw right hand to left thigh. Using the Ujjayi breath, it's easier to practice when you're not moving so much. Arms up and then come back to center. And then we're going to swing out. So Gomukhasana, which is cow face, which is the one where we touch the palm behind, lift that elbow, and then we reach the hand round. So we're not going to do the whole thing. We're going to almost keep in flow this action. So as you start, it's just to warm the shoulders up, but you're bringing one hand behind while one hand goes over and then changing. So it's internal, external rotation of the arms. So you can do it slower to get the feeling of, so touching fingertips down and the other hand coming up behind. You don't have to touch fingers, so nice and gently. But use your core, sit nice and tall. And then release the arms down. And then we're going to reach the left arm up, touch the shoulder blades, and then sit tall, take the elbow back, and you want that feeling, don't let the elbows splay out, so almost drawing the tricep towards your face and then drawing the hand back. And then exhale, release. Other side. So feeling into the tricep, exhaling to lengthen it. Inhale, release. Then we're going to come onto our hands and knees. The sink and punch, so rather than cat-cow, we're going to keep the spine neutral, so we're not moving our pelvis at all. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And now you're going to press, so punch up between the shoulders, so you spread your shoulder blades, engage the core, and the head is in line with your spine. And then keep your arms straight, sink your chest, draw your shoulder blades together. And then punching up. Exhale, sinking the chest. Inhale, punching up. Exhale, sinking the chest. And then bring your hands forward, tuck your toes, come up into down dog. Walk your dog a little, slowly paddling through the heels. And then you're going to roll forward to high plank. So press the floor away, feel like you're hugging the forearms and the ankles towards each other, lift through the back of the head. And then inhale, lift up onto your toes, hips high, and rolling back to down dog. Tailbone goes up last. Inhale, lift the hips, come up onto the toes, rolling forward into high plank, head comes up last. And again, reverse to down dog, nice and slow, articulating through the spine. One more. Inhale, roll forward. And exhale, rolling back. And then roll forward till shoulders over wrists. Drop your knees down. Cross the ankles. And we're going to do little chaturanga press ups. So 5 if you can manage them. So we want to make sure that your shoulders your elbows and shoulders are stacked, so straight arms stacked over your wrists. And then you want to tip forward, and you don't have to go far. You don't have to get the shoulder the height of the elbows, but tip and press up. But you want to keep your hips and shoulders and knees in a plumb line. And if that was 5, so you want to have the elbows bending back, so that rolling of the slightly rolling the eye of the elbow forward so you can bend the elbow straight back. Okay, then come back, tuck your toes under, sit back on your heels, trying to bring the weight down. If that's a bit too intense, you can lean forward or even press into the block. But if you can, we're stretching the soles of the feet. And then come forward, point your toes, tops of the feet down, sit back on your heels. Hands beside thighs, lift your knees, press through the tops of the feet. So you're trying to stretch the front of the ankles. And then exhale, lower. Come again to tuck your toes under, sit back on your heels, but this time you're going to lift your knees. So you're on the balls of your feet, palms down. You're going to rock and roll forward and back, just rocking onto the toes and back onto the balls of the feet. And then drop your knees, palms down, step back to down dog, and then walk your hands back and slowly come to stand. And walk to the front of the mat. So we've been doing our modified sun salute to add in our back bending when we're down on the mat. So Sphinx, Locust and Cobra. So same thing today. So standing in mountain. Inhale, bring your palms to touch. And we're going to pause here for a breath. So reach through the middle fingers, feel the kneecaps lift, the core. And then exhale, forward fold. So hinging down, and then bend your knees if you need to. Relax head and shoulders. And then inhale to halfway lift, palms into shins. Straight legs, flat back, look up. Tailbone turns up to feel into the hamstrings. And then exhale, palms down, walk back for high plank. So pausing in high plank, feel that little puffing out between the shoulder blades, lift the hips a little bit higher. And then we're going to have the eye of the elbow roll towards the opposite corner of the mat. If you need to drop your knees, drop your knees. Otherwise, you're going to tip forward and lower slowly to the mat. So don't miss out on chaturanga. Building strength. So now your hands are beside your, oh no, sorry, we're doing Sphinx. Push your hands forward. Sphinx pose, elbows under shoulders, forearms are parallel. Use your legs. So the most important thing for back bends are strong legs and a strong core. So tops of the feet press down so the kneecaps lift. Then gently press your pubic bone down, engaging your glutes. Push through the elbows and then draw your chest between your arms and that energy of the elbows towards the hips. And then chin down. And then inhale and exhale, lying down for locust. So we're going to bring arms by the side and you're going to hook your thumbs and bring the inside edge of your feet together, but you want to internally roll your thighs, so roll the thighs underneath you. And inhale, lift arms and legs. So you want to pull the thumbs apart, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. And gaze is down. And then exhale, release. Bring your hands beside your ribs. Hug the elbows in, coming into cobra. So the feet can be hip width apart. Hips down, press through your palms, draw your chest forward, push through your palms. So feel your triceps, but stay low. Keep the hips down, but tummy button off if you can. Hug the elbows in and draw them towards your waist. So shoulders away from ears. And then exhale, lowering down, tuck your toes, come up into down dog. And you're going to take 3 breaths there. Your Ujjayi breath, so practice your breath with sound. And then inhale up on your toes, bend your knees, look forward, step, hop, jump forward to halfway lift. Straight legs, flat back, look up. And then exhale, fold. And then inhale, squeezing the shins towards each other, hinging upwards, bring your palms to touch. Reach up, look up, and exhale, hands to heart. Okay, so we can do one more of those. So from the front of the mat, inhale, bring your palms to touch. Reach up, look up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, bend your knees, palms down, step back for high plank and pause. And then bend your elbows, chaturanga, lowering yourself to the mat. Sphinx pose, slide the forearms forward. And activate the legs. So really feel the lengthening through the front of your body and the squeezing of the back muscles. And then exhale, lying down, bring your arms beside you. And this time, hook your thumbs the opposite way. Tops of the feet come together. Inhale, lift into locust. So keep the breath as steady as you can. And slightly gaze down towards the front of the mat so you're not, the neck isn't compromised there. Take another breath and then exhale, lowering down. Bring your palms beside your ribs. Tops of the feet press down, kneecaps lift. Pubic bone down, inhale, come up into low cobra. Shoulders over, shoulder blades drawing down your back. Legs really strong, and then exhale, tuck your toes, come up into down dog, and take 3 breaths. And then inhale, coming forward to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, all the way up, palms to touch, reach, and exhale, hands to heart. And then standing, hands by your side, bring your arms up, and your left wrist takes hold of your right wrist. Lift up, squeeze your kneecaps, squeeze your core, and lean over to the left, drawing length into those side ribs, pressing your right hip out to the side, and then inhale back to center. Change the grip the other way, lifting up, exhale, leaning over to the side. And then, okay, and then inhale, come back to center, clasp your hands, roll your palms up to the ceiling and reach. So you just got to manage it. Okay. Oh. And then exhale, hands to your side. So is back bending okay? Yeah, okay. I'll chat to you afterwards, but as long as you know. That, yeah, good. Yeah, oh, okay, good. Sorry. Okay, from the front of the mat, bend your knees, fingertips down, take your right foot back, drop the right knee down, low lunge, and flatten that foot. And then inhale, as you lunge, draw your arms up. And then we want to make sure we're drawing in through the core. So as you lunge, so you're feeling length in the front of that right hip, you're knitting your ribs. So you're trying to draw the ribs almost to the back body as you reach, and then start to lift your chest. Keep that core engaged. And as you lunge, you'll feel the upper back starting to arch as you look up. But try not to, if your chest can't move back enough, then just look forward, but don't just lift your eyebrows. You want to try, and even if it doesn't noticeably show, you want to feel as if you're lengthening, lifting the chest and leaning back a little bit. See how strongly you need to engage the core. And then exhale, bring your palms down, tuck the right toes under, and then step the left foot back, down dog. And then slowly paddling through the heels. And then inhale, right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Lower the left heel towards the mat. And you want that internal rotation. So straight leg, internal rotation of the thigh. So it's straight up and back. So you're almost trying to level the hips. So this is to test the hamstring. Straighten your leg, straight, there. And then exhale, down dog. So three-legged dog is trying to keep the hips level and one leg is going straight back. So you don't want to turn the hip out, the thigh out to the side. So left leg, inhale, lift the left leg up, three-legged dog, straight up and back. So you can point the toe, you can flex it, but as long as you feel you're trying to almost level the hips. Sit well done. And flex your foot a little, flex that way, yeah. And then lower the foot down. This time, right leg lifts, three-legged dog. And then we're going to bend the knee. So the foot toes point up to the ceiling. Roll that knee up to the ceiling to open the right hip. So lifting up here, up, here. Roll it open. Yes. Well done. And exhale, down dog. Other side, inhale, lift the left leg up, bend the knee, point the toe up to the ceiling, and then lift the knee up and roll the hip open. So you're looking, push the floor away, you're looking under that left armpit. And then exhale, down dog, and drop your knees into child's pose. So knees wide, toes touching, forehead, tip of the nose on the mat, and just let the elbows drop. Okay, and then inhaling, palms down, tuck your toes, come back up into down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, three-legged dog, and then bring the right foot all the way forward between your hands. And then we're going to drop the back knee down, low lunge, flatten the foot. Reach the left palm forward to the top left of the mat. Think your hips, draw your navel in, and then you're going to revolve, bring the right arm up. And then you're going to loop the Kiran other way. Yeah. Now you're going to loop the right arm under. So you're just going to reach the right arm through as you lunge, so it doesn't need to touch anything. And then sweep it all the way back up. And again, exhale, draw the navel in, loop the arm under, look towards that hand. Last one, reaching up. Exhale, looping through. And then bring both palms back down, tuck the left toes under, step back to down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts up, three-legged dog, and then step the left foot between your hands. Drop the right knee down for low lunge, flatten the foot, and then bring the right palm to the right, top right corner. Lunge forward so you feel that length in the glute and hamstring on that left thigh. Draw your navel in, twisting to reach up, look up at the thumb, and then you're going to loop through. Inhale, lifting up, turn the gaze up. Exhale, loop. Last one, inhale, lift. And exhale, loop. Bring your palms down, tuck the right toes under, step back, down dog, and then you're going to drop your knees. Sit back on your heels and take your block. Actually, you need 2 blocks. We've got enough of that. 2 blocks each. There we go. 2. Yeah. 2. I've got these 2. Hold on. Let's rearrange. So we're going to do camel pose. Ustrasana. Okay. Actually, I might bring you mine because it's bigger. There we go. So this is a pose on our knees. And we're going to do a variation of it. So camel pose, essentially I'm not warmed up, I'm not going to do it straight away, but it's feet are not tucked, they're like this, so your heels are further away. Your arms are going to go back, so the arms aren't overhead. So it's everything we've been working on. It's like the squeeze of the shoulder blades, the lift of the chest. You can keep ultimately the head drops back, but we're going to keep our gaze forward. But it's strong thighs. So we want to almost press the hips forward, and you're trying to resist that with the thighs. It's like we're going to use a block, one block first, between the thighs. So you feel like you're trying to spit the block out behind you. You're squeezing it so tight. Lift up. And the pose is to reach back, but trying to keep the hips above the knees and reach for the heels. So we're going to do variations of, which is why the 2 blocks can be either side. So you get a lot more height. They'll be higher even than your heels. But firstly, we're going to come onto our knees, tuck our toes under. Prisoner arms. And we're going to hinge back. So we're not going to bend in the middle or push the hips forward. We're going to keep our knees, hips, and shoulders in a plumb line. So inhale, and then exhale, lean back. So feel the strength in your thighs, and then come forward. So you don't have to go back far. You can go back further if you want to, but you'll feel how strong it is. If you need extra padding, you can flip your mat over if you need padding on your knees, but feeling the deep core muscles, even the lower back working. So don't overdo it, but we're just warming up, seeing how we need to be strong in the thighs. Because if we give away, we let it collapse, then you've lost your core. Okay, then come to, of course I haven't got a block, but put one block, the thinnest way between your thighs, and come up onto your knees. You can tuck your toes under, and you want it up. So flip it oh, I can use one, can't I? So we're not using 2 at the moment. So as high as it'll go, this way. So you've got most of the length of your thighs to squeeze in. Tuck the toes under. And then you want to feel that action of lifting the chest up, but pressing the hips gently forward. We're not doing that. It's a gentle tone on the glutes. Press the hips forward and squeeze the block as hard as you can. And then we're going to reach. So we're just going to hinge a little and swing our arms. So without the prisoner arms, it's like feeling that engagement as you go back. How strong knees need to, thighs need to be. And keeping that gaze forward. Okay. And then now we're going to start to reach for the heel. So the one thing is that we don't want to do is this kind of thing. So we're just going to trying to lift the chest, bring the arms back, and you're going to pause a little longer. So rather than swinging forwards and back, you're going to roll the shoulders back and down. So you're squeezing your shoulder blades. So already you've got extra length in your arms, because if they're here, but you're doing this, so the arms can go behind. Squeeze the block, lift your chest, so really engage the core, keep your gaze forward, and then you're going to, you can swing the arms a little, but you want to lift the chest and try and reach. So squeezing the block, pressing the hips gently forward, reach for the heels and come up. Don't forget to breathe. You can do it. So do it twice more. If it feels comfortable, if it's not so good, go easy. You don't have to go back. You can still just do prisoner arms. But you're trying to lift your chest so you can try almost to curl, squeeze the shoulder blades and curl through the upper back. Okay. Right. We're just going to come onto our hands and knees. Tabletop pose. And now you're going to inhale, draw the right knee to your nose. So curling inwards, draw that heel up, and exhale, take the leg back. Inhale, same thing, knee to nose. Exhale, take the leg back. So we're squeezing in and then taking the leg back. And now the right knee is going to curl inwards to the left elbow and take the leg straight back. 3 times. Right knee, left elbow, curling in. So we're waking up our core. Last one. Take it back that side, and now it's right elbow, right knee, right elbow. So almost trying to draw that knee up. 3, and then come back to tabletop. Just sit back on your heels for a moment. If you need to give your wrists a shake. Okay, tabletop, other side. So 3 times. So we want to feel that little spread in the shoulder blades, draw the navel in, and then curl left knee to nose. Take the leg back. Inhale, bring the foot forward and back. Last one, forward and back. And now left knee to right elbow. So obliques, cross body. 2, 3, and now left knee, left elbow. 2, 3, and then come into child's pose. Just rest a moment. Okay, then you're going to slide forward into Sphinx. So bring your left forearm in front of you, bend your right leg, point that toe so you feel the engagement of the quad. You can lie your chest down if you want to. You can even rest the head. You're going to reach around for the quad stretch. Bend your elbow, draw the heel in. So a gentle squeeze of the glutes, so you feel you're gently pressing the pubic bone down. And then push the foot away, straighten the arm and get that shoulder rolling back. So like camel, you can shrug the shoulder back, push the foot away. And then exhale, release. Change to the other side. So it's left leg bends, grab with the left arm, but soft first, so it's just the passive stretch. Bend your elbow, draw the heel towards your bottom. And then straighten the arm, push the foot away. And then soften and release. And then palms down, tuck your toes, come up into down dog. Inhale, bring the right foot between your hands. Drop the left heel down. You're going to come up into warrior one. So feet hip distance apart, left toe slightly turned forward, bend through the right knee. So we're leveling, we're drawing internal rotation of the back thigh. So this is a back bend as well. So like high lunge and low lunge, as you lift your arms, you can keep completely straight or you can lift into this. So with the legs need to be really strong. So right knee stacked over right ankle, drive through the back heel. So this thigh, left thigh is internally rotating. Core engaged. As you lift your arms, and you can have James Bond fingers so you can not worry too much about holding the arms up there, but feel the back bend here. So as you lunge, lift your chest, lift, 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 lunge, squeeze your glutes a little, turn your gaze up. So it's softening the shoulder, the tops and sides of the neck, tops of the shoulders. And then exhale, step forward. Other side. So we're going to step back to high lunge, drop the heel down. Internal rotation of that back thigh. And making sure left knee over left ankle. Strong, so we're driving through the back heel. This is your supporting, or this is the strong leg, this is the supporting leg. Engage, knit those ribs, so we're not just collapsing through the front body. We're strong. Bring your arms up. Reach up with the fingers, and then you'll lift, lift, lift your chest. Start, so the arms don't come forward, it's the chest that comes up and you lean back. Squeeze your core strong through the legs. And then exhale, bring your palms down, step back to down dog and drop your knees. We're going to do camel again. Okay, this time take 2 blocks. And they're going to go on the, here I took your other one. They're going to go on the outside of your heels. So you can reach for your ankles, but if it's a, depending on the size of your feet, but toes tucked, or you can have them flat. It's actually easier with toes tucked because you've got a bit more balance or bit more help with your balance as you go back. But the blocks are going to be either side, so you're going to reach back. So what we're trying to do now is not this or this. So reaching the blocks isn't the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to try and press the hips gently forward, really feel the thighs are engaged, and lift your chest, lift, 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 and you're going to start to go. The shoulder is like a big loop of the shoulders back, and that reach, you press your hips forward, and now you can turn your gaze up. If you want to let the head go back, let it go, but we need to be able to bring it back. Reach for the blocks if you can. You were nearly there.
Can't see. So
They're there, just reach, yeah. Okay, so now, Yeah, so not in, so here. So keep your tailbone here. So keep here and now lift up.
Don't move that.
Yeah, and don't move that. Tell you what we're going to do is come forward. Lovely, well done. But we're just going to do one actually it's a bit difficult with the wall, because the thing about back bending is that when you realize that you actually want your knees and hips to stay in the same line. So we're trying, this was an exercise for this. So feel your legs. But that's not what we're doing in a back bend, because my back isn't bending. That was an exercise. So now we want to keep my hips over my knees. Lift, lift, lift. You get really long here. So it's like cobra or locust, sphinx. It's like this is grounded to the mat. Lift, lift, lift your chest, curl through the upper back. So imagine you are pushing the floor away. It's this kind of action. Actually, rather than using the wall, I know what I'm going to do. I've got time, yeah. Back bends are the hardest. It's almost hard to let go. So take a strap, everyone, and we're going to use this. Some of you, well, all of you, beautiful. Oh, you got your strap. If you haven't got a strap, I'll show you. We're going to make a small loop. So you want to get the, here, you can have this one. So come, sorry, up through the 2 Ds, if you've got a D ring, you've got a D ring, and then back through the middle. So then you can make a loop. So we'll take you to the wall, but it's really difficult with that bar that going around because you can't press into. So essentially this loop is going to go around your thighs, the middle of your thighs. So you'll step into it. I can help. He doesn't have a strap. No, like that, but let go of there, let go. There. So, but you want to come down, yeah, have it wider. So, well, like that, come down onto your knees, and then you want this, does everyone do, oh, sorry. So you want to strap around your thighs, but your thighs can be hip distance apart, because essentially you're going to push out into them. So rather than squeezing a block, so we're going to go in, back. What's happening? So around your thighs. Yeah. So you might want it a bit tighter. So your knees are under your hips. So we're not too wide apart. Your thighs are parallel. Tight enough that if you were trying to pull it apart, your legs wouldn't go. So now you can keep your blocks by your ankles. That's it. And it's always have this in the middle so that you don't have the buckle down a bit around the outward curving bit. Yeah. I don't do Iyengar yoga because it takes ages with all these bits and bobs. So now the same thing is you're going to reach back for the blocks, but you want to try and keep your hips where they are, as if you're down on the ground, as if you're like this, and you're reaching back. So my knees and my thighs are parallel. So you're going to keep that, lift, 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 squeeze out into the strap and reach back. So you can take your arms further back, you can reach it. And you can just touch them, you don't need it.
Sad, isn't it? I can only stay in it so long.
Yes, but the straps really help to, how's that, breathe, use your exhale. Lovely, well done. If you want to drop the head back, then when you come up, you lead with the chest and the head comes up last. So, but come up on an inhale. Sorry, an exhale, too late. Exhale as you come up. Do you want to try one more? If it doesn't feel good, we're going to settle the spine after. That's it, much better than Lisa. Yeah, it was hard. Yeah, it is. Its back bends are really tough. Good. So that's it. So it's to yours. Okay. That's it. Lovely. So press out into the strap. Okay, and then exhale, come forward and bend. You can remove your strap. And we're going to, so ideally we don't go immediately into forward fold after a back bend. So we're going to just lie on your back with your knees bent and knock your knees together to move all the paraphernalia. I'll come and get all the straps. So feet on the floor, knock your knees together, so feet apart a little. And it's that expansion that you, often in back bends, you're paying a lot of attention to the lower back because that's the most movable part, but it's actually also the upper, the thoracic section of the chest that you can lift and expand. So you give all those organs space, you feel like you can get more air in the lungs. Okay, then hug your knees in, just gently. Little rock and roll there. And then feet down, roll to the side, and we're going to come to stand. Don't get up too quick. So one last thing is that there's a pose in yoga. They only really do it in Ashtanga, which is it's a set series. You get the primary, secondary, tertiary series, and there's about, I don't know, 70, 80 poses in each series. And they're all in a set order. And in the Ashtanga tradition, you're not allowed to move on to the second pose until you've learnt the first pose. So it's a slow progress. And especially when, like the first standing poses and seated poses we've all done, but then you get to something like the drop back, which is when you have to learn that so it's a back bend, but it's rather than being on the ground and lifting into a back bend, it's standing. I can't do it, by the way. So it's arms overhead, and then it's going all the way over and bringing your hands down to the floor and then coming back up. And they'll do 50. I mean, I think it's 10 you have to do to pass to the second series, but I mean, I don't know where it's not normal and it's not needed, but it's just to show. No, I'm not going to show you this, but we're going to just come to the wall. You don't need your mat, but if you find a bit of wall and face inward. So this is where we start with the overhead reach of the arms. So any part of the wall, and you're not that close, so you're away from the wall a bit. And the thing is, it's like you want to almost do this when you do it, and that's when you lose your core. So the thighs, mid thighs, like your hip flexors are part of your core. So you want to do what we're doing in
Actually, we could have had the straps on, but anyway, you want to feel that strength in the thighs. So squeeze your kneecap, thighs are really strong, and you don't want to sort of hinge back or bend in the middle. It's trying to keep the hips over the knees. Lift, lift, lift your chest, bring your arms up. And then as you reach up, you're going to exhale and drop the fingers to touch the wall, and then come back up. So it's core base, yeah. So it's a lift, lean, touch, and come back up. So keep the core tight. So try not to bend the knees or throw the hips forward. And you do, well done. And it's okay. And then bring your arms by your side. And the main thing, like once your arms go out your side, like I get this thing when I'm trying to do wheel pose, which is from the ground, but arms overhead, is when I can't see my arms, my knees go. It's like just like looking up at, standing under a tall building and looking up at it. It's sometimes it's that proprioception, not knowing where your body bits are in relation to the rest of them. So anyway, come back to your mats. That would be the beginning of a drop back, but that's the last you'll hear of it, I think. So come to lie on your backs and take your, do you have your towel roll? You know, got towel? Mine's on. So have one block for your head, and then your towel roll. I've got one here you can borrow, Kashmira. Just take, you can have that for your. This is a baby version of the one we did in your restorative phase. So let me just swap. So the towel roll is going between your shoulder blades. And then your head. So your hips are just, yeah, and then you just lie back. And then adjust the block for your head. And drop your elbows so you feel your chest is lifting a little. And because of the work we've been doing on the back, you probably want to keep your knees bent and take your feet apart, knock your knees together. You can come into butterfly, but I think maybe we need to take any tension off the lower back. Yeah, that's it. So bend your knees and feet apart, knock your knees together. It just takes any strain off the lower back.